It seems to me Iran is winning. Iran has all the power. When it comes to the Straits of Hormuz, they absolutely control that. And it's all very well Trump saying we will escort ships through. You're falling into the trap. They want you to try that, Trump. There's 3 ways that Iran control the Straits of Hormuz. If Trump says we will escort, we'll send our best destroyers, our best military ships, our best air cover, we will escort you through. That is falling into the trap that Iran wants you to fall into. They've got the surface. So first of all, let's talk about air. Iran have got these mobile launchers, the kamikaze drones, missiles. They are mobile, they're moving, they come out of tunnels, they're disguised as trucks, they're disguised as containers, they're all over the place, and they can launch from a long way away. They don't have to be near the coast, and they will attack Trump's ships. And all the Trump ships, they say, oh, we've got these brilliant defense things. No, you can't. The swarm of drones, they're going to take out the military ships, the escort ships, as well as the tankers who are trying to pass through without permission. Chinese and Russian ships are allowed through without permission. And oh dear, I just saw a car crash. Whoops. Anyway, it wasn't too bad. Nobody's hurt. It's just a white Range Rover has hit another car. Look at that. Oh, poor people. That's a bit of stress. Blocking the road. Just like the Straits of Hormuz, this road is completely blocked now because there was a nasty car crash. I bet that Range Rover is going to cost a bit to fix. So, getting back to the Straits of Hormuz. Iran controls the air. Iran has got all these missiles they can launch if any ships try and go through without permission. But of course, if everybody... Oh, there's a nasty smash on that. But anyway, they're letting us through. I'm going to get through. Iran can set the tone. They can say, look, these are the conditions. I will let you through. And if live up to that, yeah, Iran will let them through. But their air defense of that is that is their sea. The Straits of Hormuz belongs to them. And then there's the surface, where they've got kamikaze drones that go on the surface. Boats, unmanned attack boats designed to blow up, and they can launch them. There's loads of garages, and they've got all these stores with explosives on. They can just go with a trailer, launch it, whoosh. They can control it. A man's controlling it, whoosh, to go and hit the ship. 100 of those, you can't defend against that. You might take out 90%, but only one of them has to hit the ship, and you sunk the ship. And then they've got and mines will be included at the surface. They've got mines that are very similar to kamikaze. They're controlled. They can move. They're not just anchored to the bottom like World War II. The mines are able to be controlled and moved. They're just below the surface, very hard to defend against. And then you've got the sub ones. You've got kamikaze submarine torpedoes that are cheap to produce, high explosives. They're all waiting there in different places. They can be moved and just launched. Again, controlled by a man, or even controlled by AI nowadays, probably. And they will take out any. So Iran completely controls the Straits of Hormuz. And if Trump and his friends say, we are so powerful, we are so strong, our military power is so strong, we will go and defend those ships, the not military ships that need to get through the Straits of Hormuz, because the whole world's going crazy with that bit of water blocked. There's going to be businesses going bankrupt. There's going to be massive inflation. There's going to be difficulties all over the place. So Iran has got all the power, and Iran can set the terms. We want Trump to come and kiss his ass and say, sorry, I shouldn't have killed all those schoolgirls. Those schoolgirls, Trump denied it. He said, no, it was Iran did it themselves. Are you serious? Do you think everyone's that stupid? America killed all those schoolgirls and the teachers. They bombed a school, and they lie. And they say, we would never target civilians. No, Iran did it to themselves. Are you flipping serious? No one would believe you, Trump. And the military guy there, they asked him, did you? And we're investigating that. Are you that inept? Your investigation's gone on for a long time. Who's investigating it? How can you be so stupid? Anybody can, with a little bit, you can see it was American weapons that killed all those schoolgirls. Anyway, Trump needs to apologize for that. I'm trying to be neutral here. It's very hard to be neutral, but I should try and be neutral. There's bad people on both sides, there's good people on both sides. But Iran has all the power with the Straits of Hormuz. They can set the terms. And it's no good Trump just saying, we are such a strong military, we can defend those ships. You can't, I'm sorry. Unless they do just nuke Iran, you know, if they do a tactical nuke, or if they can, without nuclear, if they can finish off Iran, then they could open up the Straits of Hormuz. Is it going to come to that? I hope not. But I'm sorry, there's no amount of military prowess, there's no amount of like military ships, naval power, air, sea and undersea, maybe even the submarines. They cannot take out all the mines, all Iranian mines. That these days, the modern mines, they can be at different depths, they can be at and they can move around, and they can move. You can't defend against that. It's incredibly difficult to defend against that. I suppose they could just do a high explosive every now and again, just try and just blow up all the mines in the area, boom, and then try and get some ships through. But then you've got more kamikaze torpedoes. They're basically drones, underwater, unmanned, like the old Japanese kamikaze drones that they lost a man every time. But nowadays, you don't have to lose a man every time. They're remote control. AI can even operate them. And there's hundreds of those, all ready to go around to that area. And then you've got, on the surface, I don't know if you call that a torpedo. It's not an underground, it's a torpedo boat. And Iran's been building up for decades. They've got so many of these. They want to use them because they're getting old now. They're several decades old, some of them. They're happy to use them up. If any ships try and get through without, that we're not permitted, but Chinese ships are permitted, Russian ships, any friends of Iran, they are permitted to go through. They'll be all right. But these surface torpedo boats, unmanned kamikaze torpedo boats, hundreds of those cannot be defended against. Even if they could take out 90% of them, only one of them has to hit the ship. They've sunk the ship. These shipping companies are not prepared to take that risk. And then all the missiles, you know, the drones, air missiles and drones, they can't defend against hundreds of them. A swarm of those, cluster. There's no way the Straits of Hormuz is going to be opened up unless Iran's demands are met. And Iran's demands are going to be very high. So the way things are looking now, the Straits of Hormuz are not going to be opened up. What this will mean is the stock markets are going to keep collapsing. All the businesses are all affected by the knock-on consequences of this. Their profits are going to go down. Their expenses are going to go up. Operating costs are going to go up. Difficulty in operating. Difficulty in getting the fuel, the energy, the parts. The knock-on consequences are massive all across the board. Inflation is going to be huge. Cost of living crisis. It was Bill Holter who said it best. He said, you're going to see prices going down of the things that people have and prices going up of things that people need. He's talking about the stock market, investments, paper or digital investments, cryptos, stock shares, investment funds, unit trusts, ETFs, all these, and people's pensions are often, you know, index linked based on the stock market. They're all going to be going down. The economy is crashing. House prices are going down all around the world, especially the Middle East, absolutely through the floor. You know, you can buy these amazing mansions in the Middle East now for pennies almost, or people are just abandoning them. They're just abandoned. You can go and live there if you want. The owners have just abandoned them. Nobody would ever buy them. The instability, the uncertainty there. But even in the West, Europe, America and other countries, house prices are going down because interest rates are going to have to go up. When interest rates go up, house prices come down. When interest rates come down, house prices go up artificially because it's easy to borrow. It increases demand for housing. Right now, demand is going to go down for housing and all the other things. The Renters' Rights Act, all the landlords want to sell. and mortgages are going to be very expensive, very hard to get hold of. There's going to be massive numbers of repossessions. It's quite clear to see the stock market and investments are going to go down, keep going down, as they are doing. House prices, property is going to keep going down, as they are doing. Interest rates, mortgage payments are going to keep going up and up and up. Rents are going to go up, but people can't afford it because of the cost of living crisis. Food, fuel, energy, cost of everything else will be going up. Before this crisis, there was all these TikTok videos of people shouting about how I can't afford the cost of living. I'm working so many hours and I still can't keep my head above water. I've got more outgoing than I've got coming in. That was before this crisis. Now this crisis has happened. The amount of people who are going to be shouting, I cannot keep my head above water. My expenses, food, clothes, living, housing costs, this amount going out. Well, my income is nowhere near as much as that. I'm losing money every month. The answer is you can't afford to pay for these. You can't afford your housing costs. You can't afford to pay your bills. TV license, council tax, electricity, gas, water. People can't afford to pay it. The world is now changing to such an extent. The world is changing so fast now that you might be able to just live for free in your rented accommodation. I mean, officially it'll be 2 years really until you officially get the goon squad calling around with a locksmith to turf you out. But by 2028, what will the world be like if you stop paying your rent now? Loads of people on Telegram are now asking the question, can I just stop paying the rent? Can I just stop paying? I mean, I don't know, can you? Are you competent? Stop asking permission from Stacey's World Rocks and these other Telegram groups. Start figuring out yourself. It puts you into a subservient mindset when you're asking permission for these things. If tenants all stop paying as a protest to the war, to the way the decisions that the governments are making, stop paying, and all these properties, imagine they all just get turfed out on the street and there's all these empty properties there. Well, they're just going to move back in, aren't they? This is what Dmitry Orlov is saying. And he's been talking about this for a while. They're preparing for the collapse of the banking system. He's saying now, stop paying rents. All tenants stop paying rents en masse. Just live there for free. And if you're one of the small percentage of people who do get kicked out, well, there's loads of other vacant properties. Now, the property that you got kicked out of is going to be vacant. Someone else will go and squat there. This is happening. This is how the world is changing so fast. I'm going to read a segment now from something Dmitry Orlov wrote. Think about this. Getting Prepared for the Great Collapse by Dmitry Orlov. Shelter poses a particularly interesting problem at the moment. It is still very much overpriced, with many people paying mortgages and rents that they can no longer afford, while numerous properties stand vacant. The situation, of course, is to cut your losses and stop paying. But then you might soon have to relocate. That is okay, because as I mentioned, there is no shortage of vacant properties around. Finding a good place to live will become less and less of a problem as people stop paying their rents and mortgages and get foreclosed or evicted, because the number of vacant properties will only increase. The best course of action is to become a property caretaker, legitimately occupying a vacant property rent-free and keeping an eye on things for the owner. What if you can't find a position as a property caretaker? Well, then you might have to become a squatter, which is the same thing really. Maintain a list of other vacant properties that you can go to next, and keep your camping gear handy just in case. If you do get tossed out, chances are the people who tossed you out will then think about hiring a property caretaker to keep the squatters out. The same thing. And what will you do if you become a property caretaker? Well, you squat, you take care of the property, but you also look out for all the squatters, because they are the reason you have a legitimate place to live for free. A squatter in hand is worth 3 absentee landlords in the bush. The absentee landlord might eventually cut his losses and go away, but your squatter friends will remain as your neighbours. Having some neighbours is so much better than living in a ghost town.